Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Will Galloway, Uncle Built by Houses. You're here at the Real Estate Pays Me YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you can go ahead and subscribe to the video. But today we're going to be talking about 5 different ways that you can get into wholesaling houses if you don't got no money at all. These are my 5 different tips on how you can get started. Again, back then when I got started, back in 2010, I was in your shoes. I didn't have no money, but I'm going to go over some of the strategies. I'm going to give you 5 different ways that you can get started with no money at all. I'm talking about zero, or give you some ideas on how you can get some money to get started.
I've been blessed to make some money off of real estate. Subscribe to the channel, I can show the way. Uncle Bill buy houses, let them demonstrate. Uncle Bill buy houses, let them demonstrate. Real estate crazy, know that God made me. Real estate pay me, real estate pay me. Need to tune in now. Real estate pay me, real estate pay me, real estate pay me.
Jump right in. So tip number 1, this is my favorite tip. I actually just closed a deal, which I'm going to do a video on this as well. I'm going to give you a case study and talk about how this one powerful method, people don't think about it, but this one powerful method just made me over $20,000. And I just closed this deal about a week ago. I'm going to do a video testimonial going over, how I actually closed the deal. But number 1 tip is referrals, right? And people say referrals, like, how do I know, or who am I going to find that's going to be able to sell me a deal? And you'll be surprised at how many people you know or you don't know that has or know somebody who's looking to sell a property. So one of the things that I would do is I'll go through my Rolodex and I look at everybody that's in my call log, right? And I just start calling people and start shooting people texts and say, hey, what's up, this Will? I just want to let you know I'm buying and selling real estate right now. I've partnered with, somebody who has over $1 million in funding and they're looking to buy a property as soon as possible. If you know somebody, I'll pay you $500 or I'll pay you $1,000 if you find me somebody who's looking to sell their property. The first thing you did was you let somebody know that what you're doing, right? You're letting people know you're in the business, and you're letting somebody know that, hey, I have somebody who has over $1 million in funding and they're looking for some properties to buy. Because sometimes your friends and family or whoever you reach out to, they may not believe that you have the money. They might know you from not having money, so they'll be not taking you as serious. But if you say I have somebody who has over $1 million in funding, then maybe they'll be the person that believe you, right? So that's the first way I would do is just reach out to everybody that's in my Rolodex. Anybody I know, I'll be shooting out, calling them, just reaching out to them. And, that's for free. You're just reaching out to everybody in your phone book. And you'll be surprised at how many people, friends, family, peers that know somebody, or maybe they're in a position where they want to sell their property. So if you don't know, you don't ask. Closed mouths don't get fed. So you have to start asking. And that's letting people know exactly what you do. So that's tip number 1. Now, tip number 2 is close to about, it's kind of similar to tip number 1 as far as referrals, but people don't think about this. And you could do this right now. You can do this today. Put a post on social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter, or whatever that looks like. It's free. Post on there. I have an investor, or same thing I said about the referral, or it could be, hey, I'm looking to purchase a property in the next 30 days. I have $1 million in funding, something like that. If you know somebody who looking to sell their property, or somebody, or you're looking to sell your property, I'm looking to pay $500 to $1,000. So you basically use this number 1 strategy as referrals, but you flip it over to social media, because with social media, you can reach way more people, right? You may have a few hundred followers or a few hundred friends that's on your social media posts. So if you didn't get them on your contact list on your phone with text, now you can get them on social media by just simply posting something like that. And I will post it probably about once a week or once every other week or something like that. You don't want to blast it out too much, or even put it in your stories or your message. So if somebody didn't see your post, you can throw in some stories. Like you might put some real life stories, like what you're eating, what you're doing for the day. Then you might throw in that post. And then if somebody, you might have comment, deal. If you have somebody, if you want to, or you might put another post and say, hey, you want to make $500 or you want to make $1,000 in the next 30 days, refer me a property and I'll pay you, if the property closed or something like that. So that's tip number 2. So tip number 3 is driving for dollars. Again, driving for dollars, you will probably need some gas money. but of course, I'm sure you're going to have some gas money to get around back and forth to work or whatever. So when you're getting off work or when you're on your lunch break, you need to be riding through these neighborhoods, and you need to make it a goal of yours to write down at least 50 addresses a day. 50 addresses a day that you're going to take that list of houses. Like, you're driving through neighborhoods. If you don't know what driving for dollars is, you're driving through neighborhoods and you're going to be, looking for distressed houses, whether it's a house that's boarded up, whether it's a house with tall grass, whether it's a house where it look like somebody just got evicted and there's furniture everywhere. You're looking for these houses, right? And you're writing down the addresses. You're going to go back to your computer. You're going to Google property records in that particular county, and you're going to go to that tax assessor website. You're going to look that property up. You're going to put the information in. You're going to get the current owner's name, and then you're going to skip trace. There's hundreds of skip trace services online. You can do a free one, like free people search or something like that. And look it up and get a free number, by looking up one of those free skip trace services. And True People Search, I was trying to think of the name. True People Search is one of the free ones that we use, and they got good phone numbers on there. This is till you able to level up and spend money on the better ones, of course. But in the meantime, you're gonna have to do it through sites like True People Search, and you're gonna get those phone numbers, and then you're gonna be able to get those addresses. Now, when you look them up on the county record website, because this is gonna go over the tip number 3, when you get those the current owner of those properties, when you drive for dollars, you're going to get the mailing address and you're going to get the current address. The current address is the property you looked up when you drove for dollars, but the actual mailing address is where the actual person lived, because they may have purchased the property, but they may live in another state, or they may live down the street or something like that. But that mailing address is important, right? Because on tip number 3, what we're going to do is we're going to be able to send them out postcards or handwritten letters, right? So with the handwritten letters, again, this is another free method that you may have to spend a little bit of money on stamps. And I know we talked about no money out of cost at all, but hold tight. I know you enjoyed this video, but hey, I just wanted to take some time to introduce you to my newest community inside of the school platform. It's called the Flip University. Now, once you get inside of the Flip University, you'll instantly have access to over 5 courses that's already uploaded in there, going over wholesaling, creative financing, just real estate in general, marketing. You'll have access to all of these courses already once you get inside. We also have a general discussion tab. So anytime you get stuck, you got a question, somebody, either me or somebody on my team, will answer that question on the go. And also, we do weekly Zoom coaching calls, right? So if you want to jump on a call, you want to go over something, you got a question, you want to go over a deal, anything you want to talk about, you'll have access to me and my team on those Zoom weekly coaching calls. One of the best things I like about the community is I've started implementing one live in-person walkthroughs of one of my properties here in Atlanta. That's right. You get a chance to come to Atlanta. You get a chance to meet me in person at one of my properties. It might be one of my rentals, one of my fix and flips. You'll be able to walk through these properties. You'll be able to ask me any question you want to about the property or anything you got going on. This is what I have for you inside of the Flip University. Hands down, best thing going right now. If you want to get started, you get a chance to vibe and network with other like-minded individuals. So if you want to know a little bit more about the Flip University, click the link in the bio somewhere. You'll see the post. All right, get back to the video. Let's go. The mailing address, and you're going to get the current address. The current address is the property you looked up when you drove for dollars, but the actual mailing address is where the actual person lived, because they may have purchased the property, but they may live in another state, or they may live down the street or something like that. But that mailing address is important, right? Because on tip number 3, what we're going to do is we're going to be able to send them out postcards or handwritten letters, right? So with the handwritten letters, again, this is another free method that you may have to spend, a little bit of money on stamps. And I know we talked about no money out of cost at all, but let's just hypothetically say you got some stamps laying around in your drawer, and we'll still say it's free because you're going to have some stamps, and everybody has some stamps. Everybody has some envelopes. If you don't have a stamp, find some quarters somewhere in your drawer, in your sofa somewhere, to be able to get you some stamps or borrow some money. Or I'm gonna give you a tip at the end on some things you can do to get a little bit of money. So stay tuned at the end. But so tip number 3, we're gonna take those same addresses. We're gonna get a handwritten letter. We're gonna get whatever paper we have that we don't have to pay for, or if you got enough to get a notepad, a yellow notepad at the local Dollar Tree, dollar store, you can get a pad for $1. We're going to handwrite these letters and say, hey, I want to buy your house at XYZ. Or better yet, another thing you could do while you're driving for dollars. This will be tip number 4 while you're at the driving for dollars. So one of them is you're going to be drawing for dollars to be able to send them letters, right? But while you're out there, another tip that I do, this is a ninja tip. People don't even talk about this. Go to your local post office or go to your FedEx office and get those letters, like those FedEx envelopes that say FedEx on it. And while you're drawing for dollars and you're getting these addresses, right, you're put your letter that you're going to write. You can mail the letter off when we were talking about the stamps, but you can also put that FedEx label envelope, put your letter inside the envelope and then stick it on the door, right? So when that person comes to the property to visit, they'll see a FedEx letter. They'll be like, "Yeah, FedEx done sent something to my house," and they'll check the FedEx envelope or the USPS envelope, priority envelope, and they'll open it inside, and you'll have your letter in there saying you want to buy their house, and it may have your business card if you have some business cards. There are some platforms online where you can get free business cards. So yeah, I would do that. And you can, like I say, you get that address, and you can mail to the mailing address with the letter if you have the stamps. Or while you're out there, if you don't have no stamps, go to the post office, go to FedEx, get those envelopes they have for free, put your letter inside. This is if you don't have no money for stamps. Then you're going to stick that letter, that FedEx envelope or that USPS envelope, you're going to stick it on their door, right? And then that's where you're going to be able to wait till them to call you when they come home and get that letter. So what we're at tip number, that was tip 3, tip 4. So now we're at tip number 5, guys. And tip number 5, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a tip number 6. I'm gonna throw a bonus in there. So now that this is going to tip number 5 and 6, right? So now that you skip trace and you got those phone numbers, right? So this is what you're gonna do for those phone numbers. We talked about this earlier. You're gonna skip trace to get the phone number. You're gonna skip trace to get the address. We talked about how you can mail out, how you can put sticky notes on the door. You can put the envelopes on the door. And when you get that phone number, you can do 2 things with that phone number. You can text that phone number with a Google Voice number, or you can call that number, cold call that number with a Google Voice number, asking them, do they want to sell their property? Now with the texting, with all this text stuff going on, they have a lot of limitations when it comes to sex, because, it's a lot of laws, bypassing things that, for spam and stuff when it comes to texting and calling and stuff. So these strategies, is better to have a dialer or better to have a system that can text, that can get through the spams. But if you don't have no money, I would say don't do a whole lot of them at a time. Maybe do like 10 to 20 a day. Once you get that number, you're going to cold call them, that, go through the script of asking them, do they want to sell their property? Or you're going to shoot them a text and say, hey, and one thing I would do with the text, don't put anything about, I want to buy your house and things like that, because those are spammy words. I will put something like, do you own 123 Main Street? Something like that. Hey, I just saw 123 Main Street. Are you still the owner? Or, hey, I want to talk to you about 123 Main Street, or something like that. Something that's going to make them curious to want to, possibly text you back and say, yeah, I'm the owner, or yeah, what about 123 Main Street, right? So with that phone number, again, you could do 2 things. You can call them and you could text them. So guys, this is some game changing information to be able to, tips that, if you literally don't have no money out of pocket. And something that just came to me again, I love giving away free information. Something that just came to me again, if you need another list to be able to call for free, while we're talking about free and we're talking about ways like if you don't have no money at all, go to the courthouse, I'm going to do another video talking about how powerful the courthouse is. The courthouse literally have, probate lists. When people file, probate, they have to file out an application. That application is public record. So you can find the person who applied for the probate for the property, and their number is going to be on there. If somebody filed for an eviction, they're going to file a dispossessory form. So now you have that dispossessory form that has the landlord's phone number information on it, and you can call them to see if they were trying to evict somebody from the property. Maybe they're a tired landlord and they want to sell the property. So I would reach out to them. Of course, you got divorce list there, you got tax default list there. The courthouse has, a lot of different lists, public record lists that you can go for free. Just take your time to be able to go out there and, do your research and have the clerks help you pull those different lists or show you how to pull those lists. And again, those are free leads with the best phone numbers. You don't have to skip trace. Those phone numbers are numbers that the people filled out the application on, so you know the information is correct. And I know I told you I'm gonna give you a tip at the end. If you didn't have no money, some of the things that people don't think about that you can do for money right now is look around, right? Go to your house right now, look around, look at stuff that you may have that you don't be using no more, or maybe you have that you feel like, man, I'm on hard times right now and I really need to get rid of this to be able to sell something, to be able to make some money. So you may have to be looking at a pair of shoes that you could put like on sites like Poshmark, or, you know, put them on these offer-up websites and marketplace, Facebook marketplace and stuff like that. You may have to sell something, right? I mean, do what you have to do, guys. I mean, we're at a time right now where you may have to sacrifice right now and sell something. If you're at a point where you don't have no money for marketing, you may have to sell something that's around you on eBay or something. Get that money and invest into yourself, invest into your coaching, invest into a course, invest into your marketing, right? I would say invest into yourself first. That means your marketing, right? We're talking about free methods, free ways to be able to get started. But what happens if you have a few $100s to invest? That might make a world of a difference to be able to get your first or your next deal closed in the next 30 days, guys. So hopefully this video was able to help you. I said I was giving you 5 ways to be able to do wholesaling, to be able to find leads for free, but I actually gave you over 5 days. But, you know, that's what this, you know, community is about. That's what this, you know, real estate pays me YouTube channel is about. I'm a go-giver. I want to make sure you get to the next level. I want to make sure you have all the resources as possible. And whatever you want me to talk about on the next video, feel free to, you know, comment below. Let me know your thoughts on these marketing methods. If you have another marketing method for free that I didn't mention, I would love to hear from you. Put it in the comments, and make sure you like, subscribe, set your, you know, alarm clock. We're going to get consistent with dropping videos, you know, every week. But I'd love to see you subscribe. I'd love to see you a part of my community. And again, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.